Welcome in the D Event Center, this side of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament. I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us on our high school rewind coverage on live.ksl.com, deseretnews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand. Our first round matchup, the Orem Tigers and the Highland Rams. So glad to have you along with us. We've had an outstanding day here in the 4A State Tournament. We had another game on tap, and we think will be very, very good as well. Let's first start with the Orem Tigers. Clark Wilhelm. He's averaging over 14 points a game. There's also Mr. Harwood, who's played very well, and Mr. Young, who's played well as well, who's a transfer move from Mountain View we saw a year ago. So excited to see these three guys go after Highland tonight. And for Highland, it's all about Brandon Ward. Young man we expect to see a couple alley-oops tonight. You've seen him on our top 5 plays on High School Rewind, and we expect nothing but that tonight. This should be a very, very fun game with Highland and Orem. You know, our team's couple things to look out for. We'll come back to the opening tip-off. You are watching High School Rewind coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament only on Xfinity On Demand.
Officials for tonight's game, Mark Stevens, Al White, and Chad Leatham. We wish them a great game.
We're set for opening tip-off with Orem and Highland. Dusty Lister and Sam Maxfield bringing you the call tonight. Harward and Schmidt jumping up, controlled by the Orem Tigers. Up the floor with Orem. Head coach Golden Holt won a state championship just a few years ago. Lost in the championship game 1 year ago to Bountiful. Harward up and under, too strong, and rebound claimed by Brandon Jones. Down the floor with the Highland Rams. On Monker, down the lane, loses the handle. That was Ward, got a shot partially tipped by Harward. Down the floor now with the Orem Tigers.
Orem, a solid defense on that possession as they look to come in and try to make their presence known.
Lamson with the steal, going the other way. Lamson with the left hand, and no foul call on the contact, and will stay on the baseline. They'll be inbound with Spencer Monker. Monker inbound to Ward, couldn't get it to go, and the rebound taken by Young. Up the floor now with Jake Stainer. Outside with Clark Wilhelm. And a jumper too strong, and a rebound claimed by Spencer Diver. Far side now into Ward. Ward will jump it just inside the free throw line, couldn't get it to go. And rebound cleared out by Wilhelm Clark. We apologize, had that backwards. Why wouldn't you think it was Clark Wilhelm? Wilhelm Clark with the board.
Yeah.
And now here on the near side. Apologize to his mom and his dad, as well as him. Harward working on the inside against Ward. Harward kicks it out. 3 on the way from Stainer, and Stainer buries the triple.
Excellent job that time by Richard Harward. Great job of just driving the post and finding the open man for an open 3.
So down the floor we go with the Highland Rams. High post again to Ward. Ward moves Harward and gets it up and in. Nice take and finish by Brandon Ward.
Attacks the big man, goes right at him. That's what you have to do when a shot blocker is right there. You have to go right at him and just power it up over the top.
Up top with Jonathan Johnson. Lead inside to Harwood off the side of the backboard. Saved in and off. A Monker will stay here. Interesting to watch how this game is going to go tonight with Orem and Highland. As Highland started to really pick up the pace a little bit after coaching change. Inside, and we're going to have a foul before the shot. I think that's War who come down on top of the Orem player, and War luckily getting up without an issue. And he'll be inbound along the baseline.
Looks like he kind of just landed on his back real hard there, and he's going to check out of the game, and Max Wilson will come in for Highland. That's not a good sign. The best player for Highland coming out early. Hopefully he'll be able to return soon.
Absolutely. Trigger in. Clark with the jumper. And we'll have Clark.
Number 13, Will Clark.
So 5-2 the lead for the Tigers. Up the floor with Monker. Monker in the lane, kicks it up top. Thought about it. Now on the drive, Diver gives it up along the baseline, off the glass and in. Rick Schmidt. Last year, Highland was the surprise team of the tournament as they knocked out Timpview, the number 1 seed, and did so in spectacular fashion. They ran the T-Birds off the floor last year. 3 on the way and off the mark, and a rebound claimed by Highland. That was Max Wilson on the push now with Ryan Lamson. Give it up to Monker. Lamson near side with Diver. War set to check in. Luckily he's okay. Diver down the baseline, jump it up and score it.
Excellent offense right there, just going right around the screen, knocking down the open baseline jumper.
6-5 the lead for Highland. High post kicks out. 3 on the way and buried. That's Hayden Young. And a timeout taken by Highland. 4:24 remaining in the first quarter. 30-second timeout. You know, last year, Hayden Young in the first round buried a 3 at the buzzer to knock out Logan, but it was for Mountain View. So interesting to see him now move over to Orem, come down and bury the triple.
Yeah, and he's really helped this team this year, averaging over 10 points a game, as well as about 2.5 rebounds and assists per game, and he's really been a big part of this Orem Tiger team.
And a lot of turnover for Coach Holt as well. There's a lot of questions if he was going to come back and coach at Orem. His son had graduated along with Dixon, and who's now moved on and playing at BYU, Mr. Nixon, and others, Quinn Peters. But he decided to come back, and so Colin Young coming in adds a little bit, or Hayden Young. His brother Colin played at Mountain View as well, did his games. But Hayden Young moving over certainly added some depth and a little more diversity to his lineup.
Exactly, and they've got a pretty good chance this year coming in at the number 1 seed, playing the number 4 seed at Highland.
And there's a lob to War, and we've seen that a lot. You saw it on our top 5 plays. You couldn't get to that one.
Very well defended that time by Orem.
And they knew it was coming. At least had a feeling anyway. 4:05 remaining in the first quarter. Clark outside, off the screen. Clark down the lane. No foul, probably should have been a travel, no whistle. On the run now with Monker. Monker will reverse out. He gives it outside. Wilson drop it to War, left hand, up and in.
Good pass on the inside by Rick Schmidt. A little handoff to the cutting War, who finishes with the left hand.
Thanks for the correction. That was Schmidt with the handoff. Drop it inside Harward. Harward pirouette toward the baseline. He's blocked. Rick Schmidt with the block. Going the other way with Monker. Monker in the corner. Diver trying to shoot that before he caught it.
Substitution for the Rams, number 1.
The interesting thing is Orem comes in the number 1 seed out of the region. They lost the last game to Olympus. After losing that game to Olympus, they won the coin toss right after the game, and got the number 1 seed heading into the tournament. So it's been a good year, and Olympus, as we learned today, is a very good team. They're able to battle back after not a good day. As Will Clark buries the jumper, and it's now a 10-8 lead for the Tigers.
Will Clark for Orem.
Yes, mentioning Olympus, earlier today they were able to come back and win in double overtime. A really great game that we saw this morning over East.
I really set the table for today. It's been an outstanding day in the 4A state tournament.
Exactly.
Up top with Brevin Elsholtz. And now Monker. In the corner. Drop it now to War. War will jump it up. Leaves it too strong. He's trying to kiss it off the glass. And it'll go back down the floor with the Tigers. Young up top. And we'll swing it around. Here's Harward along the baseline. He shuffled his feet. Turnover. We'll go the other way with Highland.
It'll be interesting to see how Highland handles the height of Richard Harward. He's standing about almost 7 feet tall in there on the inside, and Highland tallest player is Rick Schmidt at 6'8", so it'll be interesting to see if Orem can establish a solid post play.
You know, it's interesting looking along the sideline with Coach Holt. He's got quite the coaching staff assembled. He's got Coach Scheide, who's been around forever at Orem High School, and the coach Perry Wildeboer, who won state championships at Timpview before retiring just a couple years ago. Three-pointer on the way and off the mark from Wilson. Moore gets the board underneath, goes up and is blocked by Harward. And it's out of bounds and will stay with Highland.
Great play by Harward to go up and knock it down. Looked like War might have a chance for a layup right there. He just swats it away.
Lamson triggers in, now drop it to War. Fall away, Jay is short, and War with the board. That's one thing Highland's going to get him. I mean, Orem is big, but I think you look at War and also Schmidt, a little bit more athletic with the bigs. And now 3 seconds. That had to be the call. Schmidt forgot where he was.
3 seconds.
And 3 seconds will go the other way with Orem.
The Rams, number 12, Spencer Gifford.
Down the floor. High post, Harward. Kicks it up top. 3 on the way from Clark, and Clark buries the triple. Extending the Orem lead to 13-8 with 1:25 remaining in the opening quarter.
He's got 7 already for Orem. 7 of their 13 points have come from Wilhelm Clark.
Hands off to Diver. Diver now up top. L. Schultz cross court. Diver thought about 3, gives up to War. Free throw line jumper, and War now has 6 points in the quarter. 13-10 up the floor. Outside with Clark. Clark drop it in to Harward. Harward powers his way, puts it up and in. He's gotten better and better every year.
That's right. Standing at 6'11", the senior thinks this is really his year to kind of prove what he's made of.
So their brother Ian played at Orem and then walked on at BYU. Played for a couple years for Coach Rose. 30 seconds now remaining in the opening quarter. We'll see if Highland chooses to run this thing down. Up top with L. Schultz, and it's been a pretty entertaining first quarter, pretty clinical as well. Some long sets. Now 10 seconds. Diver goes back up, L. Schultz. Here's War, back to Diver. Diver for 3, off the mark. Tipped out, 2 seconds. 1 second will count if it goes.
Nearly made it.
Just too strong at the head of Stainer. And at the end of one, it's the Orem Tigers 15, the Highland Rams 10. You are watching High School Rewind's coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament, presented on live.ksl.com, at DeseretNews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.
Second quarter possession arrow to Highland.
Start of the second quarter. We'll start with the Rams. Here's Diver. Diver, now Lamson. Lamson terminates, kicks out. L. Schultz along the baseline, jump it up and score it.
Number 1, Brevin Ellsworth.
15-12. Back down the floor with the Tigers. Young straight away with Clark. Put on the floor, and Clark is fouled by Schmidt. And he'll put Clark at the line to shoot 2.
Just took it strong with that right hand, was able to go up and draw the foul. And when you get a big man out there on the perimeter like that, you really got to try to take it strong at the hole and draw some fouls.
At the line, number 13, Will Clark.
Clark at the line and hits his first. Made the first, and Clark hits the second. Big state tournament for the Orem Tigers. I mentioned a year ago they made it to the state championship game, fell to Bountiful in heartbreaking fashion. Nixon was at the line and missed both free throws with a chance to send the game to overtime, trailing by 1 point. But Orem put together, as we mentioned earlier, a terrific season and got the 1 seed. The jumper from Schmidt off the mark, and rebound taken by Clark. Now on the push. Drop it inside Harward. Harward powers it up, can't get it to go, and a rebound taken by War. That's going to be a battle to watch tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we got he shuffled his feet. Diver called for traveling, and we'll go the other way.
Returning for Orem, number 30, Noah Johnson.
With the Tigers.
Back in for Highland, number 3.
You talked about Orem losing in that championship game last year, and now they are right back in it, trying to make up for that last year letdown.
Yeah, because 3 years ago they won the championship. The next year with that group, they lost in the first round, was shocked by Logan. Last year made it back, just fell just short. As Young's three-pointer a little too strong, and the rebound taken by Monker. Monker races down the lane, float up, no. I thought that we had the putback from Schmidt. Ward couldn't get the putback to go. And now on the run with Orem. Leading by 5. Clark down the lane, lost the handle, and Diver comes away with the loose ball. And we'll go the other way.
Foul on number 13, Will Clark. His first. It's the first Orem team foul. Back in for the Tigers, number 55, Richard Harvey.
Harward comes back in for Clark. And up the floor with Highland, trailing by 5. 6:20 remaining in the second quarter. Highland still looking to solidify their offense. Had their moments. It's really not a lot of rhythm to this game thus far. Monker powering his way down the lane. Kicks out. Schmidt jumps it up, leaves it short. And the rebound taken by Monker. He terminates and kicks up top to Diver. And they'll reset the offense for the Highland Rams.
They're really giving Rick Schmidt a lot of space on that outside. If he can start making a couple of those jumpers, he's definitely got a lot of space for it.
Monker, jumper, no. And we got a foul on the rebound. And the foul will be charged to number 2, Ryan Lamson.
His first, the third Murray team foul.
13th foul on the Rams. We'll go down the floor with the Tigers. Here's Young. Drop it in Harward. Kick out top. Put on the floor. Surprised there wasn't a double dribble call there on Shelton. Inside. They go up for it. No. We get a double dribble before that one. And we go the other way.
Looked like there could have been a couple double dribbles on that possession.
Missed the first one, got the second.
They finally got the second one.
So after the double dribble on Johnson down the floor with the Highland Rams trailing by 5. Monker kicks out to Schmidt. All the room in the world. Here's Diver. Diver will pull for 3, and Diver buries the 3.
5 points on the game for Spencer Diver, and he is a threat from outside. Orem got to kind of close that space a little bit more on the outside.
2-point ball game, 17-15. Outside with Johnson. Drop it into Harward. Harward powering his way in, and the hook shot is good.
Big fella, pretty move just with that right hand hook. Little turnaround baby hook. Puts Orem up by 4.
19-15 lead for the Tigers. High post to Schmidt. Schmidt still hanging on. Now he'll jump it from the free throw line and bury it. Coach's staff was yelling at him. Thought it was fans. It was the coach's staff yelling to shoot it. He pulls the trigger and buries it.
Finally gets one to fall. If they're going to give him that much room, I mean, he's eventually got to make some.
He didn't even that much. At least take a couple steps and float it in. And we got a foul on the floor. I think this is going to be against War the way that he's reacting.
Number 23, Brandon Moore picks up his second.
And War is asking what he's supposed to do.
Ram team foul.
He's frustrated.
In for Highland.
And War with his second foul will go to the bench. triggers in to Young. Now up top. Young hanging on. Here's Clark. Clark now back up top to Young with 3:50 remaining in the half. And again, another battle, different players. Schmidt put Harwood on the floor. No call on either side. The ball slips out of the hands, saved in to Highland. Now on the push with Monker. Monker down the lane. And there you get him with a carry. Saw the man, he saw Diver coming down the right side. He got caught up. He was going to kick it over and they decided to dribble it. Turnover.
Missed opportunity right there. Any fast break points you got to convert on in this state tournament, especially against such a talented team in Orem.
I know we all like to watch the ball. Sometimes watch the post, what's going on with Harwood and whoever's guarding him. Right now it's Schmidt.
Oh, yeah, it's a battle going on right there.
And there's Harwood. Powers his way over in a charge. That's been set up the last 3 trips down the floor. And Harwood gets the charge. And that will be the second team foul on the Tigers.
Ryan Lamson able to step in front right there and take advantage of Harwood's aggressiveness, draw the contact, draw the offensive foul. Nice play.
Now Coach Holt having a couple words for our official on the far side, Al White. Also a baseball umpire around the state of Utah. Here's Schmidt, put it on the floor. Off the backboard, couldn't get it to go. And Harwood with the board. He loses the handle, gets it back, and hands it off to Young. Thought Schmidt would get that one to drop. It just crawled off.
In and out. That's about as close a miss as you can have.
Off the screen. That was on with Johnson. Here's Clark, crossover. Kicks out to Young. Young leaves it out top to Stainer. Now near side with Clark back up top to Stainer. They'll reset with 2:40 remaining in the half. For as physical as this game been, only 6 fouls combined here in the first half. Johnson up top. Lob into Harwood. Harwood takes it and is fouled by Schmidt. And he'll go in line to shoot 2 free throws. And for Schmidt, that's number 2 as well. So War and Schmidt, both a pair of fouls.
15th foul. At the line, number 55, Richard Harwood.
Harwood at the line, big fella. That hit every part of the backboard,
wow,
including the top. The official's not calling that hit the top of the backboard. I think they say the front of it. You don't think some things will happen, and then they happen.
That's a backyard shot, man. that's the old horse shot. That'll get him every time.
That's the unduplicatable one. And he back rims the second, and the rebound claimed by by Jaden Brown. Outside with Wilson. Cross court, Diver pulls for 3 off the mark. And rebound to Harwood. 20-17, Orem looking to extend their lead. Out top with Stainer. Stainer now to Young. Still hanging on. Young along the baseline, terminates, kicks it up top. 3 on the way and buried. Will Clark from downtown.
Will Clark, 12 points already in this first half as we dip under 2 minutes, and he's just been burying them from all over.
1:35 remaining in the first half. 6-point lead for the Tigers. Brown will pull it inside the free throw line and bury it. They're coming off the bench with some confidence. Step up and hit the mid-range J. Clark drop into Harwood. Harwood sent out. Clark cross court to Young. Hangs on, now straight away with Clark. Back to Young, chased off by Diver. Young leaves it for Harwood. The free throw line jumper is buried.
That's a real advantage when you got a big guy that can shoot like that. Off the catch, just goes straight up with confidence and knocks it down.
3 on the way and good. Elsholz buries it from downtown and is back to a 3-point game, 25-22. 45 seconds remaining in the half.
Both teams with confidence right now, knocking down shot after shot, and it's going back and forth.
Here's Clark, turnaround Jay, too strong, and a rebound to Diver. Diver will walk it into the front court. 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Lost the final shot. We'll take time to reflect now on the first half. 20 seconds now remaining. And Highland can either tie or get down by one heading into the locker room.
It's been a tight game through so far, and for Orem, it's all been Will Clark with 12 points. He's really led the Tigers in this first half.
Down the lane, sent it into the corner. 3 on the way, in and out. Rebound taken by Harwood, 1 second. And that's how the first half will end. We had a jump ball. They immediately want to separate. No hard feelings there. So we'll head to the locker room with Orem leading 25-22 over Highland at the half. You are watching the high school reruns coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament live on live.ksl.com, DeseretNews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.
Third quarter possession arrow belongs to Orem.
Start of the second half, we'll start with the Tigers nursing a 3-point lead here in the start of the third quarter in the first round against Highland. Lob over the top to Harwood. He's got it. Harwood off the glass and in.
Number 55, Richard Harwood.
And Harwood continues to be a force.
Nice pass inside. Harwood, 9 points on the night for the 6'11 senior, and a nice pass on that inside for the senior.
War hard to the hole, off the glass and in. War had some foul trouble in the first half. He now has 6 points. Well, right now in this game, points are a premium. Oh, 8 points. And we got a foul underneath. And it'll be Harwood back to the line as the foul goes on Schmidt. That's number 3.
It is the first second half team foul. At the line, number 55, Richard Harwood.
Harwood.
And for Highland, number 22, Max Wilson.
And Schmidt will go to the bench. Coming on is Max Wilson. And hits the second. So Harwood goes to the line and hits both free throws.
Harwood has a nice touch. We saw him make an outside jumper in the first half, and he really just has a nice, smooth flow with the basketball, and has able to do some nice things on the inside for the Tigers.
We see the growth, has been able to cover Orem as much as we have over the past few years, to see where Ian Harwood has come from. It's quite impressive. Down the lane, kick out, and we got a foul on the floor, and that'll be against Harwood, and that'll be number 2 on the big fella. It went down along the baseline.
Charge to number 55, Richard Harwood. That's his second personal foul.
Inbound, Monker, and then we got a foul away from the ball. No, he pointed the wrong way. I was going to say Monker's on the floor. He had originally called the foul on Monker, but it's against Orem. And we'll inbound again on the baseline. That's on Harwood. That's number 3. Somebody around Harwood needed to raise his hand.
That's right.
Don't let the big fella get number 3. And maybe they have it wrong up top, but right now the board showing Harwood with 3 fouls, and that's a big thing in this game. Outside Monker. Leaves it back to War. War working on Young. Fall away Jay, back rim. And a rebound grabbed by Will Clark, and he hands off to Stainer and go down the floor with Orem. Up top, Stainer in the corner. Young being pressured in the corner. Lobs in to Harwood. Harwood will jump it up from there, back rim, and a rebound collected by War. On the push now. Diver takes a spill. And that foul will go on Clark. And for Clark, that's number 2.
Clark needs to stay out of foul trouble. 12 points in the first half, and he is a huge part of this Orem Tigers team. Really needs to keep it under control.
Monker gets it into War. War off of Harwood, up and in.
Good shot over the big fella. Took it right at him. Looked like there was a little bit of contact, no call, but still was able to finish.
After some foul trouble, now into double digits. Johnson outside to Young. Young down the lane. Jump stop off the glass, wouldn't go. Quick up the floor. Wilson over Harward, got a piece of it. And Harward pulls down the board, hands off to Stainer. Stainer bringing it into the front court, he'll slow it up.
Good defense that time, just standing his ground. He's got the height. He's just got to stand there and stay in position.
Johnson out to Young, looking inside to Harward, gets it in. Harward goes to work. Oh, nice shimmy shake. And two. Ward tried baiting the ref into the foul call. I don't know if he got it that hard. He gave him the nice move.
Looked like a flop that time.
A lot of times you just got to stay on your feet. I know he's trying to get number 4 on him. That's a big point in this game. To get 4 on Harward and get him out of the game for the rest of the third quarter. That would open things up for War and other big guys. Down to the free throw line. Divers' jumper wouldn't go. Tipped up and around. Out of bounds off of. Oh, they have a foul call. I thought initially they're calling out on Lamson. And now a foul. We'll go the other way with Orem.
Foul charge to number 2, Ryan Lamson of Highland, his second Ram team foul. In for the Rams, number 1, Brevin Elsholtz.
Inside of 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter and a 5-point lead for the Tigers. Here's Stainer outside to Young. Young lob over the top to Harward. War with him. Harward with the left hand, couldn't get it. And the rebound slapped away in the hands of War.
Unable to finish that time. Good move. He had the look, but was not able to finish.
Lamson. Harward hits the deck, tried to draw the charge. Along the baseline. Gets Harward off his feet. Monker blocked by the standard. Now War over the top of Harward, couldn't get it to fall.
You got to come up with those opportunities. That was a good look for Brandon War off the offensive rebound. He fought for it, was able to corral it, but was not able to finish.
Coach Hull in this game getting a little sloppy. He calls a timeout. 4:23 remaining in the third quarter. Orem 31, Highland 26.
Timeout taken by Orem, a 30.
Give us a moment to remind you to follow us on @High School Rewind on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out our top 5 plays from the first round of the 4A state tournament. You'll also go through our Twitter feed and see the top 5 plays from the 5A games yesterday. And we have a ton to decide. We're going to leave a lot of good plays on the cutting floor. Or I should say Vince Francis, our editor-in-chief and top 5 plays czar, is going to leave some good plays on the cutting floor. But number 1 has got to be Zach Celius. Buries the 3. Buries the 3 at the horn when Bountiful only led once that entire game.
What a shot. I mean, he just they get the ball with 2 seconds left. He gets the ball, puts it up, and was able to win the game for the Braves.
It's out of the timeout. 4:20 on a rolling clock. Clark off the glass, a little too strong. We got a lot of bodies underneath the hoop. Johnson, one of the brave things there was to leave his feet with a massive humanity underneath him. Johnson's foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, a couple guys hit the deck that time, and Johnson was able to come out of it, and he's going to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Jonathan Johnson hits the first. The issue right now for Highland is finding offense. Usually it's War and a couple other Diver, but right now it's just they're struggling to find someone in this game who's in rhythm to carry the load.
They looked pretty balanced at the end of the first half, but so far in the second half, points not coming very easy.
Down by 7. We'll see who steps up for the Highland Rams. Out with War. War, nice find inside. Lamson swatted away by Clark.
Great play on the defense for Will Clark. Just comes over, able to get a hand up and block the shot.
That's why I call him Will instead of Wilhelm. You make plays like that, you're able to call Will. Nice backdoor cut, and Kyler Anderson lays it up and in. And that ball nearly stolen. Hard to the hole. Wilson is hacked by Johnson. It'll be 2 free throws coming away. Wilson.
And Max Wilson, the senior for Highland, he had some trouble during the middle of the season kind of with the coaching staff, and he was actually suspended a couple games. But they have righted the ship, and he's back in the game looking to try to advance.
missed the first free throw.
Shooting one more, Max Wilson.
And the next. Splits the pair. Up the floor now. Stainer reverses out. And now Colin Young near the midcourt stripe. Young cross court. And now gets it back. Young drive the lane hard to the hole, floated off the glass and in. Nice take and finish by Colin Young, or pardon me, Hayden Young. And the bucket on the other end.
Nice move by Brandon War. We're coming right back for Highland.
Put my head down for 1 second to check something. And War with the bucket. 37-29. Young outside to Clark. Back to Young. And now rotate to the top with Stainer. Johnson at the high post. Give it up to Young. Young, jump it up too strong. And the rebound. And we got a foul with Jonathan Johnson. And we'll go the other way with Highland.
For Highland, right now you got to make a push. Down by 8, just over 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. And you know Orem can go on runs, so you got to make a run yourself right here to try to get back in this ball game.
Someone's got to string together a couple of buckets. Up the floor now with Highland. Trying to give something to get the hecklers into this game. Monker off the screen, outside to War, 4-3. Off the mark. Outside, now drive, Diver. Tries to avoid the contact, can't get the bucket. Johnson with the board.
Good take, just not able to finish. But that's what you want to see Highland do. When you're losing, you really want to attack and try to get some easy baskets.
Outside, Young, and now we got a foul. They're going to call that on Diver, going through the screen of Johnson. That's the third team foul on the Rams, as Harward is set to check in. So Harward in, and Anderson will take a seat. So back to a bigger lineup for the Tigers with Johnson and Harward on the floor. Inbound into Young. Clark kicks out the Stainer. 1:45 remaining in the third quarter. Here's Young. Outside to Clark. And it looks like Orem going to try to eat up some clock here. They had the ball at the minute and a half. And it looks like they're going to try to just whittle this down and take the final shot of the third quarter, or at least get Highland out of position for an easy shot. Where nobody's looking to score, and you got Harward now, who's been battling it under paint, hanging out of the three-point line. I don't believe that they're looking to set any plays to score here.
Yeah, that's an interesting sight. 7-footer out on the three-point line. If only he was Dirk Nowitzki.
You're too young to remember when Marquine used to hang out the midcourt stripe for the Jazz. Inside out to Harward. They're going to reset with 45 seconds. Young being chased around by Diver. Remember, no shot clock in high school basketball. They can take this all the way down. It looks like they're going to. Possession now over a minute. And again, that's a national rule, not a Utah rule. They go by the National Federation rule book. And now a foul on Diver. This is a disadvantage. You allow them to hold the ball for over a minute. Sooner or later, there's going to be a foul. What's the defense supposed to do? And that's why nationally this has to be rectified. 35-second shot clock, a 30-second shot clock would come in handy to help the flow of the game and let the players play the game.
It's really uninteresting also. I mean, when guys are just passing it around and sprinting to try to get open just to pass the ball again, I mean, when you start that at 2 minutes, it's a long 2 minutes.
Absolutely. 15 seconds. Now down to 10 seconds. Up top to Stainer. Stainer has that slapped away by War. 5 seconds. 3 on the way from Young. Off the mark. Tipped up. No. Rebound still loose. War has it. That won't count if it goes. And that'll do it for 3. At the end of 3, we've got Orem 37, Highland 29, heading to the 4th and final frame of this 4A first round matchup between the Tigers and the Rams. You're watching High School Rewind's coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament on live.ksl.com, at DeseretNews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.
Can we get the scorekeeper from Timpview? Timpview High School official bookkeeper, please come to the scorer's table. 4th quarter possession arrow belongs to Highland.
Start of the 4th quarter. We'll start with Highland, and they need some buckets here to get started. And that pass off the mark from Moore. Nobody home. Picked up by Young. Young on the run. Down the lane. Monker there. Lays it up and in. That was a good no call. Young tried to avoid the straight-on contact, and that's what you're supposed to do. And it's now a 10-point lead for the Tigers.
Nice play by Hayden Young, pushing the pace, and he's able to finish with contact on the other end for the 6-foot senior.
And a foul on the floor. 16 foul against the Tigers. Will be shooting free throws the rest of the way for Highland.
His first, the 6th Tiger team foul.
Inbound to Spencer Monker. Monker out to Wilson. Now Schultz into the corner along the baseline. Lamson gets it to go. Nice take and finish by Lamson. Somebody from Highland needs to get aggressive, and Lamson goes to the rack and finishes.
That's Lamson's first 2 on the night, and he averages nearly 12 points per game. He really needs to step up in this final quarter.
Harward sends out to Clark. Now to Young. Young reverses out. Here's Clark. Up top, Stainer. Here's Johnson. Johnson over the top of the smaller Monker.
It's tough when you got 6'8" compared to about 5'10". Just got the height advantage and puts it up right over him.
Back down the floor. Here's Monker. 6:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. Up top, Schultz. Back to Monker. Monker will drive, kick out to War. He hands back Wilson. Wilson inside out to Schultz. Schultz pulls up just inside the free throw line, and it crawls off. Rebound in the hands of Johnson. And walk up the floor with Stainer.
If you're Highland right now, you got to score more. You have 31 points so far in nearly 3.5 quarters. You really got to pick up the pace and start making some shots on offense, or else you're not going to beat this team.
Here's Harward. That ball went off his knee, and they're going to say no. We'll stay here.
Back in for Highland, number 15, Rick Schmidt.
It'll be Orem ball. 5:49 remaining in the 4th quarter.
They got Rick Schmidt back in to try to challenge the height on the inside of Harward.
Schmidt has 4 fouls, so we'll see how long he stays in the game, depending on how aggressive Harward is in the post. And Stainer, yeah, he traveled. Got caught there. Turnover. We'll go the other way with Highland, see if they can take advantage. 2 things Highland can do. One is pick up the pace on their end of the floor, but then also pick it up by picking up full court, forcing the Tigers to play offense and do different things. So we'll see what Coach Boyce decides to do. Moore will kiss it off the glass and gets it to go. Been a quiet second half from Moore.
14 now on the night for Brandon Moore. And if you look at this state tournament so far, some of the best teams go through their #1 players so much every time down the court. And you see, I think Highland needs to go through Brandon Moore every single time down the court since he is such a talented player.
Absolutely. Down the floor after the miss. Wilson tried to kick out. That ball was knocked out of bounds by Orem and will stay here with Highland. And all the comebacks we've seen in the last 2 days, it's been the best player on the floor for that team has picked it up. Let's see what Ward decides to do here, or what he can do. Get it into Ward. Jumper in and out. Rebound to Clark. He hands off to Young. Now we'll bring up the floor with Stainer. And we have a timeout. Coach Holt. 5:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Tigers take a timeout. And it'll be a full timeout, but we'll take it with them. But before we do, I want to remind you to follow us on Twitter at HS Rewind. We'll be tweeting out our top 5 plays from the day. Again, follow us at Rewind, or on Twitter at HS Rewind.
Get tournament scores by following the UHSAA on Twitter at UHSAA Info. Low-fat chocolate milk is a natural for post-exercise recovery. It has what it takes to help you replenish, rehydrate, and rebuild after strenuous exercise. And it tastes great, too. Cars, pickups, SUVs, motorhomes. If it takes a tire, Les Schwab's got it. The West's largest selection in stock. At Les Schwab, they want to earn your business.
Out of the timeout, Orem ball. Clark cross court to Young. He reverses out, and that ball went off the leg of War. And a long length pass picked off.
Those are not the type of passes you want to see as a coach, those kind of football-esque passes.
Kick in the corner, War for 3, and that's a big bucket. War from downtown cuts it down to 8.
He's got
5
17 on the night.
Cook up the floor. Here's Young. See if that 3 can spark something here for Highland. Kick it up top to Clark. Now Young, drop it inside Harward. Harward, power dribble, goes up. 2 Rams were there, Wilson and Schmidt, but will inbound along the baseline.
A lot of contact there. They did not call the foul, so they must have seen that it was clean. Good job on the interior defense of Highland.
Outside. Johnson into the corner. Young, drop it inside to Harward. Harward, power dribble, goes up over the smaller defender. Couldn't get it to go. Johnson's tip up wouldn't go. Oh, and that could be a turning point if Highland can turn this into points.
2 missed opportunities that time for Orem.
Schmidt will pull. Can't get it to go, and the rebound cleared by Clark. That would have been a 4-point swing had Highland been able to knock that down. Clark terminated before the midcourt stripe. Gets it across to Young. Young now to Clark in the corner, Stainer. War went for the steal, didn't get it. Backside to Young. Oh, and Diver. That could have been ugly as Diver went head over heels.
Just kind of cartwheeled over him. We've seen that a couple times today where guys just jump up in the air, just out of control.
Full timeout taken by Coach Boyce. They want to give Diver a chance to get himself collected. With 3:19 remaining in the fourth quarter, it's Orem 41 and Highland 36. We'll step aside and be right back. Now out of the timeout, Harvard will inbound along the baseline. Diver comes back on the floor. Inbound in to Clark. Rifle the pass inside to Johnson. He's fouled and one.
By number 30, Noah Johnson. Number 12.
Johnson will go to the line, looking to extend the lead for the Tigers, up by 7.
Great play that time on the inside. Jonathan Johnson goes up strong, and the 6'8 junior finishes with authority.
At the line, makes it an 8-point game. Just like that, we had the opportunity for Highland to get a 4-point swing and get down by a couple points. And just like that, a 3-point on the other side, and they're back up by 8.
That's a big blow to Highland.
Wilson hard to the hole. No call on the contact. And he gets the bucket. Wilson now with 3. 6-point ball game, 44-38. Johnson. Timeout, Coach Holt. He was moving all over the floor. He moved either way. No call on any possible travel. Got a 30-second timeout taken by Coach Holt. 2:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. And big moments here, Sam, for Highland. Obviously extending the game with fouls. It's 17 fouls for Highland, so 1-on-1 free throws for Orem, 16 fouls on Orem, so it'll be free throws for Highland as well. For the Rams, going to be finding someone that's going to miss free throws. We haven't had a ton of free throw shots tonight, but what have been hit by the Orem Tigers.
Exactly. Highland is just going to have to come up with good offense. They're just going to have to get good shots, and it might come down to making outside shots. So you have to look to go through Brandon Moore. He's got 15 points. He kind of came on in the last few minutes and has been able to make some shots. And we'll see how it plays out.
Now, Warris had a pretty good night. He leads all scorers at the moment with 17 points on the evening. Harvard leading the way for the Tigers with 13. And then Clark with 12. He's only had 2 in the second half. It'll be interesting to watch the difference here for Highland and Orem down the stretch. Orem, obviously, on possessions are going to take their time. Coach Holt understands that. He knows that he can take all the time he wants. They're going to do that, especially with Highland at 17 fouls. Only have 3 more opportunities on front end and 1-on-1s.
Just like you mentioned, it's kind of finding the right guy to foul here down the stretch.
Clark inbounds into Hayden Young. And Young foul by Monker. It'll be Young at the line to shoot 1-on-1.
Number 3, Spencer Monker, his first, the 8th team foul at the line for Orem. Number 3, Hayden Young.
It's Young at the line for the front end, a 1-on-1. Back rim, tipped out, still loose, and then collected by Schmidt. He gets back in the hands of Wilson. Wilson sprints in the front court. Orem's have to move offensively.
That's exactly what Highland needs, is missed free throws right there.
Diver off the screen. Diver pulls for 3. Too strong, and a rebound cleared out by Monker. And they'll reset the offense for the Rams. Down to 2:20. Off the screen is Schmidt. Kicks back to Schmidt. 4-3. Kiss off the front of the rim and comes off. Rebound to Clark. Golden opportunity there from Highland. Goes by the wayside. 2:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. Johnson to Young, and it goes off his hands. And we'll go back to Highland.
Another opportunity for Highland. Orem's given him a couple here in the last couple possessions. They have to capitalize.
We kind of maybe belabored this a little bit. Got to go through Brandon Moore down the stretch. Moore's only taking a couple shots here in the critical moments. Here's Schmidt. Outside, Monker. Drive to lane. Monker loses the handle. Saves it in. Ward comes away with an O. Slipped out of his hands. Young couldn't get it. Diver for 3. Blocked from behind by Clark. We got dual possession, and the possession belongs to Orem. Big play by Will Clark. Diver goes to pull for 3. Clark comes from behind and roofs it. It'll be Tiger ball.
Excellent hustle play there by Will Clark to come from behind and block the shot of Spencer Diver. And Orem able to come up with the possession.
Inbound in to Stainer. And out of bounds off of Highland.
Rams wanted it to be their ball. We couldn't get it. We could not get a great look at it, but it'll be Orem basketball nonetheless.
Clark to trigger. Gets it into Johnson. He gets it back to Young. And Highland going to drop back behind the midcourt stripe and now try to trap and get a turnover on an errant pass. Clark cross, get inside to Harward, nearly stolen by Schmidt. Then down along the baseline.
Almost. They got to be careful with those passes. I mean, you have a 6-point lead, but that does not mean that could change. You got to be careful with those passes and try to get to the free throw line.
Harward posting up on the inbound. Lob it in to Johnson. He gets it in the corner. Clark up top to Young. And Young got bumped, no call. Now Stainer. Stainer had the ball tipped. He was fouled. And it'll be one-on-one free throws. Stainer going to the line. That's the 19th foul. It's the last one-on-one free throw for Orem.
Max Wilson, his first personal foul, the 9th Ram team foul. At the line for Orem, number 5, James Stainer.
Stainer at the line has yet to shoot a free throw tonight. Front end of 1-on-1, rattles out. Opportunity after opportunity for the Highland Rams. Clicking up the floor. Wilson kicks up top to Monker. Again, we're Brandon Moore. There he is at the free throw line. Moore put it on the floor. Jump it up and foul by Johnson. Got him on the arm.
Looked like a pretty good call right there. A nice job of attacking with that left hand and goes up strong and draws the foul on Johnson.
At the line for the Rams, number 23, Brandon Moore.
And the free throw good from Moore. Gives him 18 on the night.
In for the Rams, number 2, Ryan Lamson. Also number 1, Brevin Elsholtz.
Moore back to the line for number 2. Hits them both. 44-40, 58.5 remaining. And a watch for the leak out. Inbound to Stainer. Stainer cross court to Clark. Clark ahead to Young. Young leaves it up to Harward. And Harward goes up and flushes with 2 hands. Pushes it back up to 6. Cookie down the floor.
Great transition offense that time by Orem, finding the open man. And that was interesting. catches his own ball, puts it back in, and Lamson scores 2.
Nice job by Ryan Lamson. Timeout taken. 39.9 remaining. Orem leads 46-42. Full timeout. We'll take it with them. You're watching High School Rewind's coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament on live.ksl.com, DeseretNews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.
Max Preps, America's source for high school sports. Watch a replay of today's event free online at live.ksl.com. RPT Advanced Personalized Care to get you back to work and play fast. For a free consultation, visit us at online at rptonline.com.
So welcome back in, 39.9 remaining. Orem to trigger in. Into Harward, back to Young. And Young is fouled. He'll go to the line.
That'll be the 10th team foul on Highland. Double bonus, shooting 2 from here on out for Orem. Highland does have the possession arrow, but chance for 2 shots right here for Orem.
Hayden Young go to the line. He missed the front end of 1-1 his last opportunity. Back rims the first. Diver will come back in the game along with Schmidt. And a big free throw coming up here for Hayden Young.
Like you said earlier in the game, there wasn't very many free throws thus far until the last couple minutes, and it's really been showing as Orem not able to capitalize on these free throws.
Young splits the pair. Looking down the floor with Brandon Moore. Moore Goes down the lane, lost the handle, tries to kick it out. And Young comes away with the loose ball. As he's calling timeout, he's walking away. It'll be timeout Orem, 28.1 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Tigers looking to salt this one away, up 5. It'll be a 30-second timeout. I want to remind you to follow us on Twitter, at HS Rewind on Twitter. We'll be tweeting out the top 5 plays from tonight's action. Actually, the full day's action, same day tonight. 8 games today. We're in gate number 7. Got another one after this one, Timpview and Skyview. The winner of this one will play the winner of Timpview Skyview. And as good as the first round was, Sam, the second round of the 4A tournament is going to be even better on Thursday.
Exactly. You saw Bountiful barely escape Murray. Murray did a great job of holding on that entire game. They had the lead the entire game until the end. Celius hit a huge game-winning shot, the BYU commit. And the number 1 seeded Braves were able to hang on.
Lob in to Harward, back to Clark. Clark is fouled by War. Thought they might get a dual possession, but he's fouled. And it'll be free throws going under the floor for Will Clark. It's number 3 on War, double bonus.
Shooting 2 shots in the double bonus, number 13, Will Clark.
Clark hits the first. 6-point game.
Clark,
Next one's a big one.
Clark averaging over 14 points per game this year, and he's put up 13 so far tonight. He's played a solid game throughout, especially with the help of Richard Harward, the 6'11 senior on the inside for Orem. Those 2 guys have really put on a show tonight.
Harward's been big tonight. No doubt about it. All stayed out of foul trouble, getting his 3rd as Clark hits both free throws, and it's a 7-point lead for the Orem Tigers. Up the floor with Elschholz. Final moments here for Highland. 3 on the way from War, and that goes in and out. Rebound to Harward, and Harward's fouled. And he'll go in line and shoot 2, and the Orem Tigers are going to move on to the second round with Harward going to the line to shoot 2.
Stay tuned after this game. Timpview and Skyview will play to decide who is going to play Orem in the next round.
That'll be an interesting one. We got some good players in that Timpview Skyview game. First shot up and good from Harward. Elschholz and Lamson will go to the bench as seniors on the floor with 15.9. And the second rattles out. War ahead to Monker. Here's Wilson. He'll pull for 3. Wilson leaves it short. The rebound to Hayden Young. Young will run up the floor. He'll reverse out and out of bounds as Wilson not willing to give up.
Doesn't want to let the season go. That's a tough feeling for these guys in the last game, especially senior year. You know, this could be the last, really competitive basketball game of your life. And just to see it slip out of your hands, that's a very tough feeling.
Harward holds on to it, and that'll do it. The Orem Tigers will move on to the second round. They defeat the Highland Rams 50-42 on a nice night from the Orem Tigers. Sam, your final thoughts?
Well, I really thought Orem played solid. I really thought they played good defense. They were able to capitalize on some opportunities. Richard Harward led the way with 16 points. Also, Will Clark had 14 points for Orem, as well as Hayden Young coming up big with 8 points. And I thought it was a kind of a team effort throughout, and a great job. They will move on.
Well, thanks, Sam, for your final thoughts. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have our post-game wrap-up and our Nudge Player of the Game selection. And welcome back to the Event Center. Again, our final score, the Orem Tigers 50, the Highland Rams 42. And a nice time for Orem. This is a game really kind of played in their hand a little bit. Played a lot of slow half-court offense, and things went very, very well as they were able to take advantage of where they had the biggest advantages. And that was Ian Harward. Big fella was something that Highland had enough size to deal with for the most part, but he's just very skilled and did an outstanding job. And Harward had 16 points. He is our nudge player of the game. Thought he played outstanding. Had a couple other guys. Hayden Young stepped up, played pretty well. Will Clark had a terrific first half. Second half, a little bit different, but he played well throughout the game. And Orem did enough to get a win and move on to the second round. They'll get the winner of our next game, Timpview and Skyview, which will be a fun game, whoever goes on from this one. Let's talk about the Highland Rams. This is a team throughout the year, continued to battle, had a lot of good things going on. Brandon Moore had a terrific night tonight. Had nearly 20 points, did an outstanding job on the boards, and just not enough from guys around him as well. Just a tough night shooting for the Rams. We really contribute that a lot to the way the Orem plays defense and what they do in a game and grinding it out and forcing you to play strong on both ends of the floor. But again, our nudge player of the game, even Ian Harward, with over 500 employees, Nudge, one of the fastest growing companies in Utah Valley. To learn more about Nudge and their community outreach programs, go to www.nudge.com. And again, hope you enjoy our coverage of the 2015 4A Boys State Championship Basketball Tournament. For Vince Francis and Thompson Coles, I'm Dusty Lister. Oh, and Sam Maxfield as well. I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us, and continue to follow High School Rewind's coverage of the 4A State Championship Basketball Tournament right here on live.ksl.com, deseretnews.com, and anytime on Xfinity On Demand.